Today we are interviewing a legend in South African basketball, Neo Mothiba. Neo, welcome to the big tip of how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Easy does it.
Yeah. I once asked you a question 2 years ago after the National Club Championships, how long you still saw yourself playing the game, and your response was basketball is a hobby to you and not a career, and that retirement is for professionals. But at 42, what keeps you going and wanting to play at an elite level?
I think for me, I've been blessed with these genes. I am very competitive, so even though I am playing, obviously basketball, I said it's a hobby for me, but I am still very competitive. I enjoy the competition. I enjoy the challenge of, trying to beat the next guy. But most importantly, I just love the game. It's the best way to keep fit. But yeah, the biggest thing is I love competition. I love to compete. I love to see where I am in terms of the landscape of basketball in the country or even in Africa. So any opportunity I get to showcase my talent, I'll take it.
All right. And can you take us to the mind of a 42-year-old Neo? How has your routine changed? How do you prepare yourself as compared to the Neo who was 20 years old, 30 years old?
I think, contrary to popular belief, I actually work a bit harder now than I used to maybe about 15 years ago. It's just the mindset has changed because it's a matter of things like injury prevention. Make sure that you have the best opportunity to represent yourself. So yeah, man, I take any opportunity I can to be either on the court or at the gym. I have an understanding that at my age, the athleticism might be gone, even though I try hard to fight it. So I have to work a lot more. I have to be a bit smarter, consulting with physios, consulting with sports scientists, people who are in the field, just to make sure that I am, in position to do the best that I can. I still wake up early in the morning to whether I'm going to the gym or I'm going to the court, just to make sure that I'm ready, depending on what time of the season it is. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning, be at the gym at 5, from 5 until 6:45, 7 o'clock. Still make time, to have breakfast, obviously come to work. And then later on, between 6 and 8, still do the same thing, shoot around. That I do about 4 times a week. And then obviously rest on a Friday if we have a match on Saturday or Sunday. That is basically my life. And then I try and squeeze in my family here and there where I can. But yeah, I've been blessed to have a family like mine who understand, where I am. So with my routine, I'm able to stay in shape, be competitive, and also, enjoy the game of basketball.
All right. And there's a video of you dunking during a game at Wits recently. How did that feel? Like you just spoke about athleticism right now. How did it feel to dunk? I don't know when last you dunked before that.
You know what? It does help if you're 6'7".
Yeah.
It does help a little bit, but I've been putting more emphasis. As I said, that I'm working a bit harder now because 10 years ago it came naturally. Now, I have to do a lot of plyometrics, a lot of stretching, just to make sure. As much as playing basketball at my age, I still need to get up there and get rebounds. So still need to be able to leap. But it's always a great feeling, even at practice. Even when I'm playing bong bong in Mamelodi or Sunnyside, just jumping and even touching the rim, you count your blessings because at any given time, it might all just go away. But yeah, it's a great feeling. It's one of those things that takes me back to when I was in high school and just dunking all over people.
All right. You recently joined MBB. What inspired that move to them?
I think looking for a new challenge. I still appreciate the opportunities that I got from playing with Jozi Nuggets. I think I am looking for a new challenge. I actually, their belief system and their mission and vision actually align with mine as well. to try and go for gold. Their main ambition is to obviously go and qualify for BAL, and they've put the right pieces in order to make that a reality. So I thought, the chances there, I will take it.
All right. And was it a difficult decision for you to leave Jozi Nuggets at the time?
It was. I've been playing for Jozi Nuggets for almost 15 years now, 12, 15 years. Especially with Coach Andy, we've gotten pretty close. But I think we both understood that it was time. Maybe, you never know. Maybe I might go back there in some other capacity later, sometime in the future. But it'll always have a soft. I'll have a very soft spot in my heart for Jozi Nuggets.
Yeah, and you've just spoken about the ambition of MBB. Is it a project that you have faith in, that you can become the best team in South Africa and go and represent the country at the BAL, given what you've just mentioned about them?
I believe we have. I mean, obviously, we don't know the caliber of the teams that we're going to be facing. But I believe at the moment, with the way that we're approaching the game, with the way that our plans are going, we stand a very good chance of actually, winning the club championships, and then obviously subsequently qualifying for Basketball Africa League. As I said, their ethos. I mean, my personal ethos and the team's ethos actually is aligned. They believe in taking care of their players. They believe in making sure that the players are well prepared for any obstacle that might come. So I think we stand a good chance.
All right. And how does it feel to reunite with guys like Libesa Selebe and a guy like Peter Prinsloo, who you played with at the national team?
You know what? I've been in contact with these guys, obviously, even when we're different teams. But as I said, at least we have some kind of understanding, obviously based on the fact that we've played together at national team level. There is an understanding, so they know how I am personally and obviously with the game, and I know them, and it works out that they are the leaders of the team before I got there. So they understand my leadership style. I understand how they do things. It's easy for them to translate what I'm saying to the newer players that might not have played with me. But most of the guys that are there, I have played with them before. But yeah, it is a huge help to have, the leadership of those two that are in the team. So it makes it a smoother transition for me.
I'd like to go a little bit back in your career. You've played in a country like Mozambique. What was that experience like for you? And was it because you represented South Africa that you got that opportunity to play in that country?
Yeah, well, playing for Ferroviario de Maputo was a great opportunity for me. There were a couple of guys who went there before I did. And I think obviously playing Afro-Basket qualifiers also made it a bit more in their face that there is a guy that can play. And you know what, it was an amazing experience. I played there for 4 years. It's then obviously I'm not sure what's happening now, but then it was the epitome of basketball in the SADC region. And the culture there, the alumni, the team spirit, the whole basketball community. When you play at Mashakeni, and by then it was Mashakeni and Sportivo and Ferroviario de Maputo, when those teams play, it's like Sundowns versus Kaizer Chiefs. The stands are packed. There's a sense of accountability that's put on you, because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing a whole different diaspora of basketball in Maputo itself. And it was amazing. You only see that type of culture in soccer in South Africa, where it's for kids from under 10, coming to you asking for autographs, to the alumni who have seen you play before, but then now they get to see you play live. The amount of responsibility that lies on your shoulders as well as an import. I relished that opportunity. It was amazing.
All right. And how was it like playing with guys like Custodio Muchate, Octavio Mogaliso and the Matos brothers? Did you have them as teammates or opponents?
Custodio and Magalisu, we were teammates at Ferroviario de Maputo. The Matos brothers, obviously, I think then they played for Sportivo when I was playing there. So those two, I mean, they were the leaders of the team before I got there, Custodio and Magila. And it was an amazing experience. It also helped that they could speak English, so that was a good positive. But I mean, they embraced me with open arms. They knew the type of player that I was, and obviously we had developed a friendship between myself and them. And yeah, they realized that I'm going to add value, and they made sure that whatever I needed basketball related, I would get it. And they were able, as I said earlier, they are able to relay the message to the other guys who may not know who I was. And like I said, you know what? Me, I'm an easygoing guy. If you believe that you want to be the best that you can be. So that works out.
And also going to the national team, do you remember your first national team game? Also, when you first led the national team?
My first competitive match for South Africa was in 2005 at the AfroBasket. We played against Angola. I was a rookie then, and I was captain at the same time. So it was, and I think a week before then we were playing in Egypt in our preparations. I think we played against, I think it was Al Ahly, I'm not sure. And I twisted my ankle. So I couldn't, go as hard as I wanted to. But I mean, coach showed confidence in my abilities. Yes, we got struck by 30, but it was a great opportunity for me, being the captain and also being my first AfroBasket in Algeria. Yeah, it was in Algeria in 2005. It was for me, it was a huge achievement. I had been playing at junior level for a while, and to break into the international scene, it's second to none. And we were playing Angola.
All right. And how did it feel being a rookie captain and leading guys who had been there before you?
I think it was a surprise to most of us, but I think also we had just gotten a new coach. So, it's testament to my work ethic and my leadership skills that the coach just got there. And with all these veterans, there were guys like Quinton Denesan, Craig Gilchrist, all these guys who have been in the national team, longer than I have. But then he saw, the potential that I had and my leadership ability at that age. I mean, I was 21, I think, at that time. So it was amazing. I was 23. It was amazing. And luckily, I had guys who understood that the captain armband does not necessarily mean that, it doesn't mean much. It just basically says that you are part of the leadership. And they took it, and obviously I relied on guys like Craig and Quinton, to take me through the first step. And then from there, it was great.
All right. And how did you've played in 6 AfroBaskets since that time? How did it feel like playing against the cream of the crop on the continent?
I think it's a feather in your cap.
Yeah.
That you with all the struggles that we have in South Africa administratively and not being able to play in a proper league, that majority of the time we could hang with these guys, to a point where, guys will call you by your first name. They know it's no longer a matter of, number 12 from South Africa. They call you by your name. I'm talking about guys who are making a lot of money overseas, and some of the guys, I remember one time we were playing in, I think it was in Madagascar. We were sitting in the athletes village, and one of the guys from Cote d'Ivoire, came to us and said, where do you guys play professionally? Are you guys playing in France, Europe, Asia, where? And we were like, no, I play for my club in Pretoria. He plays for, and the guys were amazed that, at the level that we were playing at that time, people actually thought we were professional players, and obviously we were not. But that team that we had then, it was amazing. Only if we could, obviously, have a bit more opportunity to go through. But the fact that we got recognition from the African continent, that there's nothing more beautiful than being part of a scouting report.
Yeah.
You know, when the other team is scouting and say, okay, that number 12, we want that guy, this guy, and this guy. And it was testament to our ability and our skill level at that time.
All right. And the 2007 AfroBasket in Angola and 2009 tournament in Libya, statistically, you stood out in those competitions. Are they also the most memorable for you when you reflect?
I think the most memorable one would be the Angola Championship, the AfroBasket. You know, obviously that was the height of Angolan basketball at that time, and playing in Angola was just amazing. You know, like I said, I enjoy, you know, things around the basketball where people are just into it. You know, the fans, and you know, there was that mutual respect of players. You know, as much as I want to beat you, but I understand that no one is backing down. And you know, us being South Africa, even then in 2007, you know, nobody wrote us off. They knew that yes, you know, chances are you might win against us, but it's going to be a dogfight. And 2007, 2009, I mean, I enjoyed basketball then. It was, as I said, it was my most memorable moment. When coaches come to you, you know, and tell you where they would like you to go to Spain or wherever to go and try out. It shows that, you know, there is opportunity. You are the guy that you think you are, you know, and yeah, it was amazing. Basketball has done a lot for me, my friend. I become emotional when I realize that there are some kids that were 5 years younger, that are 5 years younger than I am, and never got to experience that.
You've just spoken about, you know, having opportunities to trial. Do you ever look back with regret not taking certain opportunities to, you know, go to Spain, like you mentioned, or anywhere else outside of South Africa?
Well, obviously, I've never turned down any opportunity. It was just, I think, the logistics of everything else, whether it's money or it's family issues and everything else. But I don't regret, because I believe everything happens for a reason. I've played basketball. I was able to go to Angola for tryouts. You know, that, you know, also was unfortunate, because I was trying out for Petro at that time in 2007. And then it just so happens that a week after, they managed to get, I think, about 3 Americans, which filled out now a quota for foreigners. So it's one of those things where I was prepared, but unfortunately, you know, the chips didn't line out accordingly. But as I said, you know what, I don't regret anything. It happened, and yeah, it is what it is. I would have loved to play overseas, but...
And just going back to the AfroBasket, like individual matchups, which player, when it comes to your mind, gave you the toughest, matchup?
The one that is very prominent, obviously because we've played them over and over again in Angola, is Leo from Angola. Lionel Paulo, yes. Leo was a menace on defense. I could never break that guy, no matter what. No, I would give him 5-6 counter moves, but he's still, you know, I mean, he's like 6'5", 6'6", probably about a 7'1" wingspan, and he could move, athletic. So him, and obviously offensively, when I'm on offense, I'd say Leo. But the hardest guy I've ever had to guard, obviously, was Olympio. Cipriano was one of those guys where I was like, I know I'm gonna get the business, but just hang in there, you know, because I enjoyed the challenge, but every time he would cook me, bro. Like it doesn't matter what I did, and I appreciated that. But he also recognized that, you know what, not that I got the better of him, but for the mere fact that I took the challenge, and I thought it was amazing. So those two Angolans. The rest, I mean, I got dunked on by Mejri, but that was a mismatch, so I just let it go.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And you played with a golden generation of players, guys like Joseph Mazibuko, Nyakalon Tuping, Tsakane Ngubeni, Quinton Denise, and the list goes on. If structures were right in South Africa, how far do you think that you and that group of players could have gone if you were properly ready for these tournaments?
Listen, with that group, the sky was the limit.
Yeah.
If I think about it, look, we had guys, I remember when we went to the Afro-Basket qualifiers in Mozambique, I think in 05, actually, the one where we qualified for. And we looked at our lineup. We were average 6'6". I mean, you had Nyaks at the one who's like 6'6", 6'7". Myself at the two at like 6'6", 6'7". You have Lesego Molebatsi at 6'8". You have Tsakane, at 6'6". Tabang Khwedi at about 6'7". You have about Quinton Denason forward. So with that core, and we were athletic. Now you also got guys on the bench like Joseph Mazibuko. You've got like Manny Madondo, who's a terrific point guard. The sky was the limit. We were, I think in 2007, if we had kept that team going and actually had proper basketball, guys would have gotten contracts out the country. It was inevitable. We were hanging with teams that we were not supposed to be hanging with. We went to the All Africa Games also in Algeria, I think in 2007, and we were, we lost Tunisia by 1 point. It's one of those things where it's a very personal thing for me when I realized how far that team could have gone. We had everything that we needed. We had shooters. We also had the work ethic. The guys believed that, they go out there, and we were close. So that kind of helped to translate what we need to do in order to be competitive.
All right. And given what you've just spoken about, and South African basketball, us seeing teams compete at that level, but not being properly ready. What is your hope for South African basketball?
Obviously, my hope is for us one day to be able to say we are proud of being the basketball committee in South Africa. And that obviously now encompasses everything else that is connected with basketball, where there are actually programs for each and every aspect of basketball in South Africa, from under 10 all the way up to the seniors, where obviously the cream of the crop being the national professional league, guys having opportunities, like taking advantage of all these opportunities that are around. We've got the BWB happening now. Those types of opportunities where we can say we can plug guys in there. Anything is possible. You've got guys like Joel Embiid who started the BWB now. He's American now, but that's neither here nor there. That is my wish for basketball. And unfortunately, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I also wish that the basketball community could also, just put aside all our differences and let's work to move basketball forward.
And what does the future look like for you on the court and off the court?
Well, on the court, I'm playing Masters now, so I've already started my transition into the old man's ball. But I'm trying to get more into administration. Obviously, I'm involved with the Tshwane Basketball Association, just to give some guidance, and we have a bouncing board in terms of our programs and everything else. But also now I think I'm ready to go back into coaching as well, at a higher level, because I believe that I've gotten enough experience in order to be able to impact at university level or even at a higher level. But yeah, that's me and Naja. But playing, I don't know, bro. I'm still here.
All right. And if anyone was to take anything from your career, what would you want that to be?
The one thing, and I tell anybody that's willing to listen, is that anything that you do, you need discipline. I don't care whether you're a businessman or you're a father or you're whatever it is, you need to have discipline. And discipline will dictate how far you go. When you wake up in the morning and you know there's something that needs to be done, but you don't feel like it, the discipline will tell you, listen, it has to be done. You've got that report to write. If I don't do, can I push it to tomorrow? No, you cannot. There's a reason why you had to do it today. So discipline will translate into your hard work, will translate into everything that you do in life.
All right. Now, well, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it, man.
No, it's my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Cheers.
It's,